Hey, angel sent from heaven. Hello from Bonnie Doon, California. Today we're going to have a tutorial about dog caricatures. I have a business. Oh, Jesus. I have a pet caricature business. It's called Pupped Up. I just got the website finally going, and I'm pretty excited about it. So I'm just gonna go briefly, like a quick dog form breakdown, and then I will film my process on the iPad and go through it with you guys. So drawing an animal is just like drawing a person's face. It's all breaking down into shapes. So I found these interesting dog 3D printed origami masks online that kind of break down the planes for you, but you can even think of it as super simple, like a sphere with a cylinder attached, and we can add things based on that. But yeah, each thing could be another plane. So just breaking down the forms, and then we can exaggerate from there. Then we can say, oh, they have a long snout, oh, they have like a wide head. And then smushed face dogs, I mean, they're a whole nother thing, but it's just shapes again. Like maybe they have their main thing, maybe they have like some noodle shape draped over that main muzzle, and it's, anyway, you're just breaking down different shapes, and from those shapes we can exaggerate. It's helpful to, when you're drawing a dog, maybe you're drawing a pug, you can look at different pugs and see what makes this pug a little bit different. Maybe its eyes are like extra big, than a normal pug. Or maybe the nose is extra small, or that piece above the nose is like thicker, that kind of deal. So it's helpful to understand the dog breed you're drawing and like comparing that, maybe even via the internet. And then there, of course, from that cylinder shape, we can add the nose. The forms go on top of that, and every part of the dog could be exaggerated. Maybe the meat of the nose is a little bit thicker, the nose is bigger, that kind of deal. Maybe the whatever this is more long. Just going down the checklist like you would a face. Eyes, nose, mouth. Alright, okay, let's get into it. So I'm going to walk you guys through step by step how I did this caricature, and I'm using the KO faves, all these brushes I've collected over the years, and I put the Google Drive download link in the previous post. So if you have Procreate, you can follow along with that. Let's begin. So this dog's name is Moose. I have a folder with all the pictures she sent me, so it's easy to look at. I'm thinking about basic shapes. Looks like a wide head, big eyes. I think the key feature of this dog is that awesome underbite. So I just do a brief sketch, go over it, did a second sketch, and now I'm fine-tuning it, and I'm using the first brush in that pack, the super smooth inker. And then here you can just kind of see my process. I'm just going over and over, undoing, double tapping, undoing, just trying to make it look effortless, even though I'm undoing and redoing a bunch of times. And here I'm looking at the caricature and I'm thinking it's a bit boring, so I'm raising an eye, not because the dog is so lopsided, but it, I don't know, just kind of gives it that kind of head tilt, desperate expression this dog always seems to have. And the sketch layer is on a separate layer where I lower the opacity, so that's why it's lighter. So this is on a whole new layer. And here I'm thinking, man, the underbite kind of sticks out a little bit more, so I'm using the selection tool on the top left, selected it, and then moved it a little bit to over and then left. Now I'm just cleaning up what I inked. I used to download different fonts for the dogs' names, but I just switched to my own handwriting because I think it makes it more hand-drawn. Okay, now I'm creating a new layer. I'm using the syrup brush because it's not pixelated. Selecting the big shape, dropping in the color, and then the layers over that I'm creating, I put on clipping mask mode so they only color within that gray blob that I just made. I'm not super concerned with the colors right now because you'll see later I adjust them. It's more just like quickly like going through and blocking and everything. And this is another layer on clipping mask, all his white parts. Yeah, each color is a new layer, all clipping masked to the main shape of the dog. And I use syrup for all the block-ins. Now I'm unselecting all the colors that I put so I can have a multiply layer and be able to see my work. And here I'm testing, do I want to use the Ultimate brush or the Maxi Conti? And the ultimate brush used to be my favorite brush for like years and years, but recently I've been liking when the digital drawings don't look so digital, and the Maxi Conti has like some texture to it. So I'm going in multiply, just kind of like a desaturated purple color, and I'm going around and adding shadows, and it's not exactly the reference photo. I'm just kind of exaggerating shadows. And when I'm coloring anything, I'm always thinking about the shapes. So his forehead is a different shape than the rest of his face. So that's why I did that, shadow midway, in between the eyes. Now I'm putting colors back on, and I'm going through each layer. Up at the top left, there's a button for hue, saturation, and brightness, and you can see using that you can adjust every single color of every layer. It's very helpful. So the initial gray was just a block in, and now I can make it the actual local color. Going back over with the black spots, and then I'm just kind of saucing it up, making it a little more detailed, using that hue, saturation, and brightness, fixed colors, adding in a secondary multiply layer for the front shadow, figuring out what kind of background color I want, saucing up the details of everything, adding some spots. This is all just like labor of love stuff after this. Adding extra wrinkles. Saucing, and then I'm merging all those layers that were just a clipping mask to the main layer, combining them, then using the color balance tool on the top left, and I start with shadows, and you can go through each one, more cyan, more red, more magenta, more green, more yellow, more blue, and I'm going through shadows, then the midtones, and then the highlights. And that just unifies the whole thing, color-wise. Adding some final details, some highlights, whiskers, all that good stuff. And for my pupped up commissions, I like to add a white border around the edge. That way if they're printing it out themselves, they have some room to crop. And now I went into the spray paint brushes and used splatter and just playing around with the background. This is like the fun part for me, is like experimenting with background stuff. Yeah, just saucing it up, figuring out the text, like duplicating that layer, putting it underneath. Just trying to make it fun looking, always adding a heart. Merging all those fun layers together for a super layer. And then I'm going over to adjustments, to noise, and noise is giving it a grainy texture, so it's not as like smooth and digital. Gross. And after I finished recording, I just outlined everything with white, because I thought it made it, I don't know, there was missing something, so I just outlined everything. I think it looks cute. Another final trick is going over to adjustments again. I like to use chromatic, oh, not that one. I still like to use chromatic aberration. You can see it kind of like, anyway, I only do about 2 to 3%. Boop. And I think it looks, you have to really zoom in to see that it did something, but it just makes it look cooler. Yep. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you so much for being here. Yeah. Thank you guys. Thanks for sticking till the end. I have to look to see what next month's video is. But yeah. Thank you.